Good day to all the listeners, and welcome to the 5th program of our office practice sessions, which is produced for grades 10 to 11, NSSCO learners, and anybody else who has an interest in the subject. My name is Evans Kwetemu. Today, our lesson is about mail handling. I hope you have your pen and notepad so that you can take note of all the points that we are going to discuss in this session. Your participation is once again greatly appreciated. Please don't forget to take part in the quiz at the end of the program, just like we did in our past 4 lessons. If you look at the previous lessons held, you will see that we discussed about communication. As a school, we receive communication from other schools and also communication from the Ministry of Education head office with directives on how to handle national exams, upcoming events, and such. They usually do this through emails or directly sending to our mailbox. Thus, the mail we receive is known as incoming mail. Same applies at a workplace. Therefore, let us look further into this topic. At the end of this program, you should be able to: number 1, describe the procedures and rules for handling incoming and outgoing mail. Number 2, describe the sequence and purpose for circulating mail internally. Number 3, name the categories into which incoming mail can be sorted.
Good afternoon, Jakes.
Good afternoon, Maria. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. My dad was complaining earlier today about mail piling up at their offices daily. He was assuming that the person responsible for checking mail at their mailbox was not doing a proper job. Thus, they were behind on some issues that were supposed to be attended with urgency.
Oh no, that's very bad. Imagine someone can be affected in that line of work and lose his or her own job. My mom was talking about sending emails as a way of communicating with colleagues at her office. Not really sure how they handle mail from the outside.
That's good for her. I would like to know from Mr. Thomas if there are any ways of handling issues like this to bring efficiency at the workplace.
Settle down. Good morning to you all, class. Yes, Miss Maria, I can see an inquisitive look on your face. Anything to share with the rest of the class?
Well, sir, I don't know how you do it, but you always have the ability to see if something is unusual about your students. Anyway, I was speaking to Jakes earlier and I was telling him that I was a bit worried about my dad because someone at his workplace was not collecting mail. Therefore, it seems it was affecting his job since mail was piling up in his office.
Okay, I hear you. As for us as a school, we always check our mailbox after every 2 days. Now, in your dad's situation, the responsible person clearly has a cut-off time to check mail, but it seems he or she was preoccupied with other things that were not relating to his or her job description. This scenario actually introduces us to our lesson of the day: handling mail. What do you think are the procedures and rules for handling incoming and outgoing mail?
Yes, sir. I think we should highlight what incoming and outgoing mails are.
Good point, Jax. You may go ahead and differentiate the two.
Okay, sir. Basically, incoming mail is the mail that is being received, be it in a company or school. And outgoing mail is mail that is being sent out to a recipient.
Simple and straightforward. Thank you, Jakes. Office correspondence means communication in writing on subject of mutual interest, either within or outside the organization, and it takes the form of a letter, circular, or a notice. The written communication sent through the post office or the messenger is called mail. And when it is received by an office from different sources, it's called incoming mail.
Always good to learn new things.
That is great.
Now, sir, is there specific procedures to handle both incoming and outgoing mail?
Yes, indeed, Maria. We were coming to that, but since you have posed a question, let's look into it straight away. Efficient handling of mail requires establishment of a definite procedure, which are termed as steps of handling mail that are as follows. A. Receiving the mail. B. Sorting the mail. C. Opening the mail. D. Scrutiny of the contents. E. Date stamping. F. Recording the mail. And G. Distribution of the mail.
Interesting, sir. So it's the same process with outgoing mail?
Not really, Jakes, though some processes are the same. Outgoing mail is picked up from departments at the same time incoming mail is delivered. The mail processed and generally dispatched the same day. The processes of outgoing mail are as follows. A. Drafting the mail. B. Collecting the mail. C. Recording the mail. D. Stamping the mail. And E. Dispatching the mail.
Okay, now I see it's a whole process indeed. No wonder why my dad was so stressed in the morning. I just thought after collecting mail, distribution is done, but I guess I was wrong all along.
Yes, Maria, unfortunately you were ill-informed. But at least now you have a clear picture of how it works. Just like Jake's informed you on how his mom usually deals with internal mail via emails, internal mail is the name of mail which is sent and received between employees and departments. One way to practice professionalism when communicating in an office setting is to take time to choose your method of communication carefully.
That is true, sir. My mom also told me that the letters, memos, proposals, and other written communications are considered formal whether they are sent via paper or via email. Internally, emails are now considered the most common used form of communication. And the whole purpose is to keep employees on upcoming events and urgent issues that need attention.
Precisely. Valid contribution indeed. Yes, Maria, I see you want to put in your contribution or you have a question to ask.
Actually, it's a contribution, sir.
Go ahead.
I actually remembered from previous grades when we learned about computers and emails. Whenever an email is sent internally, it has to reach designated employees, and the sequence to break through the clutter with effective internal email is intrigue your employees so they click to the rest of the message, write in the active voice to hold the attention of the reader, focus the message on one central thought, and keep it short and simple.
Great work. It's always good to remember what you have learned. Does anyone remember, or rather does anyone know the categories into which incoming mail can be sorted?
Yes, sir. That much I do remember. Actually, 5 tabs can be enabled to automatically sort incoming mail into separate categories. And these are primary, social, promotions, updates, and forms.
Brilliant. Very impressive. Once again, that time has reached for us to part ways, but before we go, I would like someone to give us a quick roundup of our lesson.
No problem, sir. I can tackle that.
Go ahead, Maria.
Today we have learned that the written communication sent through the post office or the messenger is called mail, and when it is received by an office from different sources, it's called incoming mail. Efficient handling of mail requires establishment of a definite procedure, which are termed as steps of handling mail as follows. A. Receiving the mail. B. Sorting the mail. C. Opening the mail. D. Scrutiny of the contents. E. Date stamping. F. Recording the mail. And G. Distribution of mail. Outgoing mail is picked up from departments at the same time incoming mail is delivered. The mail is processed and generally dispatched the same day. The processes of outgoing mail are as follows. A. Drafting the mail. B. Collecting the mail. C. Recording the mail. D. Stamping the mail. And E. Dispatching the mail. Internally, emails are now considered the most common used form of communication, and the whole purpose is to keep employees on upcoming events and urgent issues that need attention. 5 tabs can be enabled to automatically sort incoming mail into separate categories, and these are primary, social, promotions, updates, and forms.
Always a pleasure to hold discussions with you guys. Thank you for your contributions. But as always, before we knock off, here is your question for this session. Let us take this as our homework once again. Question: which one of these is not a step in handling incoming mail? A. Drafting the mail. B. Sorting the mail. C. Scrutiny of the contents. This program was written by Evans Kwetemu. Until next time, blessed day.
This program was brought to you by NAMCOL with funding from the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture and the Commonwealth of Learning.